mountain, and I look down and see a world I was once underneath. I stand on this mountain and I look down by mine. There's more than it once knew. Then I knew. Then I knew. Then I knew. Then I knew. Now you're here. You're here. You're there. Now everywhere with me. If this is lost, then there's no place I'd rather be than found me, see. Found me, see. I climb down this mountain and I look around just to see that everyone used to be me. I climb down this mountain and I look around my mind, embracing more than the truth, than the truth, than the truth, than the truth, than the truth. Now you're here, you're here, you're there. Now everywhere with me. If this is lost, then there's no place I'd rather be. Found me, see. Found me, see. I once was blind, but now I see the beauty of the world before me. Now you're there. Now everywhere with me. If this is lost, then there's no place I'd rather be. Now you're here, you're there. Now everywhere with me. If this is lost, then there's no place I'd rather be. Found me, see. Found me, see. Found me, see. Found me, see.
Hello, hello, hello. How is a beautiful community of brain pickers tonight? Wow. Sorry about that. Good Lord. We got Drifty Rabbit was first in the house. Far Q coming in hot. We got Doodlebug, ArcticFox in the house. We got Kimber here tonight. Do. Please leave some DNA on that like button. It is your device, so you do get to keep that DNA. Walt Harris is in the house. Thank you so much for being here. All right, just want to make sure I got everybody. I dropped the link. I'll drop it again if anybody wants to come up and join me. Come up and join me. So tonight's case is not a missing case. This is a murdered case. Many of you guys that were here or have watched the channel or catch replay crew or whatever the case may be know that we did cover Bonnie, Danielle Bell's sister that's missing here in Florida. And she actually tagged me in Nikki's post and asked me if I could help, sent me a DM, was like, hey, can you help? I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to do this intro live to her mom's story. And I gave her my word that I would promote her upcoming podcast. If you read the thumbnail in the description on the video, this is about Stephanie Wasilishin and her daughter Nikki takes back her case. Hey, Arctic.
Hey, how's it going?
It's a going. It's a going. It's a going. You did phenomenal. I had to replay crew your premiere because I missed it. But phenomenal as always.
Oh, thank
On
you.
this
Thank
case.
you.
This case is this was one that like I said, it makes you want to like the top of your head blow off.
I know. I went down so many rabbit holes with this case, and I know that what I covered, even though it was damn near an hour long, is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there's so much that we could literally go live on this case for a week.
Exactly. Exactly. And what this family's been through is absolutely bullshit. And it infuriates the hell out of me. Thank you, Peggy, for being here. We got Peggy in the house. Elizabeth, thank you for popping in. Thank you so much, guys, for everybody that's here tonight. Like it's absolutely one of those cases where, man, you grab your wine or your gummies or your devil's lettuce because you start looking into this case and it literally makes you want to just blow the whole top of your head off. Just mind blown on how poorly that her mother's case has been handled.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we're talking about a man who literally made a full confession to his new wife, and police haven't even bothered to try to talk to the new wife or anything, as far as I'm aware, saying, "Oh, well, that's just hearsay. We nothing to see here."
Yep. Hell, the 911 call. The initial 911 call. I am an investigator. I'm not an investigator by any means, but I've been doing this for a minute. And I'm pretty sure if you call 911 and you say, I don't know, I might have shot her, she might have shot herself.
Well, and he even said that during the interrogation. He said he wasn't sure who shot who or what. And, that's the whole thing. And then later during the interrogation the next day, when they're talking to him again, he tries to flip it up again and tries to make it out that she killed herself. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Teetotal bullshit. Teetotal bullshit. That police department should be ashamed of themselves. I don't give a damn. And you guys will hear me and Arctic discuss this tonight as well. That this was a brand new police department.
Mm-hmm.
It was not very big. And I was telling Arctic on the phone that I almost wonder if it was considered a village, and that's why they used the neighboring county police department. And then it became big enough that they were able to birth their own police department, because you see that a lot out west. Like Ruidoso, New Mexico is a village, and it's where the only snow-capped mountain in the whole state of New Mexico is. It's year-round snow-capped. And it blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind.
And did you read the letter that law enforcement had the balls and audacity to send Nikki, basically threatening to file harassment charges against her if she continued to put pressure on law enforcement?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and in that letter it says that it's inactive, that the case is inactive. And I'm going to pull the letter up and read it to you guys so you guys can hear the letter. The case is inactive, but yet the Fox 10 News Phoenix that it's an open investigation. It can't be both.
Nope. And they had the offer of help from the FBI, and they declined that on a 30-year-old case. Well, if you haven't been able to solve it in 30 years, you damn well should take any help that you can get.
Exactly. And now we're, like Arctic said, we're at a 30, almost over a 30-year-old case. And the main suspect, the main person of interest, the only adult that was present is now dying of cancer.
Well, that's karma at its best, in my opinion.
Hi, Nicole. Thank you so much for being here. I agree with you. But what pisses me off is the likelihood that this man will ever see the inside of a courtroom. It's none.
Oh, I know.
None. And I have the Fox 10 pulled up here. It's got a couple of clips in there, and the 911 call and piece of the interrogations in there as well. I also have the documents. Arctic has the documents too. I'm not going to make you guys sit through almost 200 pages. That's not a complete police report. It's a partial police report. Investigation. And it's 200 pages. And not once, but twice, the prosecutor's office has turned down this case for insufficient evidence. My ass. Insufficient, my ass.
Exactly.
The autopsy report and the ME report should be enough alone. It's ruled as a homicide. Ruled as a homicide, and the only other adult in the home has not been held accountable.
And guys, the type of weapon that we're talking about here was a 40 caliber. I think it was a Desert Eagle, something like that. It was a very big gun.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't something that she was going to be able to easily maneuver. And I mean, I know I'm telling a lot of the story, but
no, go ahead.
this man goes, puts the gun back in the holster, back up in the closet, and then it's like, oh, well, I probably shouldn't have done that. So he goes, takes it back out of the closet, puts it back beside. So the evidence and everything had already been tampered with before police ever arrived at the scene. He makes a phone call to his daddy before he ever calls law enforcement to report that he shot the woman. I mean...
Yep. And I call bullshit on suicide. Not only is this a hand cannon, is what we call them where I'm from. Like Arctic said, this is not a 38. This is not a little pea shooter. You're talking about a hand cannon.
Yep.
That is a very uncomfortable weapon to hold. And I know it's mirrored, but the stream's mirrored for y'all, but this is my right hand. I'm predominantly right-handed. I'm not going to use my left hand to shoot myself in the neck.
Especially with a gun that large that you're not familiar with. I mean, and the other thing that really blew my mind is you have this guy, the only adult besides the victim, and they don't test his hands for gunshot residue.
Nope. Don't test him. They test her hands, but they don't test his. And in the autopsy report, it shows that the gunshot residue that was on her hand is from a defensive stance. So that means somebody's coming at me with a weapon. What are you going to do you're going to put your hands up. No, stop. Please don't shoot me. Yeah, you're going to have gunshot residue.
And it wasn't on her fingers. It was just on the palm of her hand because she was putting them up in defense. I mean, you read this case file and they have enough circumstantial evidence let alone the autopsy itself, to have filed charges against this man. And yet they're saying they don't have anything, that they can't bring charges.
Yep. And not only that, they have, granted, she was 3, but they have a witness that was questioned at 3 years old. That Poppy shot mom. Poppy killed mommy.
Yep.
Out of the mouths of babes. Why would a child say that if that's not what they saw?
About her own father, nonetheless.
Exactly. You're not talking about an invisible friend, an imaginary friend. You're talking about a toddler that, when I pull it up and you guys hear the clip, you're going to hear this baby in the background of the 911 call. Nikki, the lady that is starting the podcast, Poppy Killed Mommy, and taking back her mother's story, was 10 years old and asleep. And it was a 2-bedroom house, but her room was an attached garage that had been transformed into a bedroom. I'm going to tell you right now, at 10 years old, I would have loved that. My own space, attached to the house. Shoot. Threatened me with a good time. But the 3-year-old was not asleep. And not only did this man murder these children's mother, she was said to be a very loving mother that cared deeply for her children. And Nikki was from a previous relationship. Her dad's name is Craig. And now that's who she is with. The other sister is with the monster that killed their mother. And something that Nikki says on her TikTok channel is that she's part of the new trend of families that are starting their own podcast to take back their family stories. And when she said that, it clicked something in my brain about Lisa Key and Aaron Key out of Overton, Tennessee, where she said they're all a part of a club that they shouldn't have to be a part of. Hi, Leslie. Thank you so much for being here. These families shouldn't have to go through what they go through.
No, and it shouldn't be on them to try to put pressure on law enforcement to either solve the case or bring in an outside agency. And then for law enforcement to have the gall and audacity to send a letter threatening, basically, if you read between the lines, to file harassment charges because they are putting that pressure on. That,
Yep. Doodle, you should. You have a TikTok. You should, girl. Take back your mother's story. You guys know that normally on Tuesday nights we run TikTok Tuesday and do Bethany's TikToks where she advocates for Vladik. We've covered Danielle Bell over here. Bonnie started her own podcast over on TikTok, or started her own channel over on TikTok, and advocates for her sister. Is it this Saturday that Bonnie's going to be on panel, Ardit?
No, that is going to be, hold on, I'd have to get the date. It's not this Saturday. I think it's the 10th of May, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double check the date.
Okay. I'm just trying to keep all my weekends straight. I
Me
took a
too.
break and
I never
Lord.
expected to have so many families come forward asking if I would bring them on panel, but you know, I'm honored to have them trust me with the stories like they do. So
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a beautiful thing that you're able to give them a safe place to come and speak, because some of these big, huge 100,000 creator channels, families don't want anything to do with them anymore. They're coming to smaller platforms to get their story out with credibility and compassion and empathy, because these big channels have turned into trying to be Netflix or something. That's just my opinion. But that's what you see on a lot of these channels. They don't do their own editing. Hell, most of them don't even write their own scripts. I've got a notebook that I took notes down because I'm out of my groove. But hi, Leslie. Thank you so much for being here. I can't remember if I said hi to you, honey. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to pull up first here, just to give you guys a little piece of insight of what myself and Arctic are discussing here, is this letter that just absolutely makes my blood boil. Absolutely makes my blood boil. Oh shit, I pulled up the medical examiner. Hang on, guys. Well, operator error over here. So this is a letter from Sedona Police Department. It says this letter is to address the case status of 930004944. The current status of this case is inactive. This is important. There's a reason I pulled this up first. The current status of this case is inactive. This means that the case will only be assessed when new viable information, evidence, or leads are reported. Periodic reviews of the case will be made, and assigned investigator review any evidence or leads. Many police officers, detectives have investigated this case since 1993. After completion of the initial investigation, the case was submitted to consideration of filing charges. The Yavapai, and I'm going to say that wrong, y'all, County Attorney's Office declined prosecution. There is not another charging body or agency that has authority to bring charges in this case. Jurisdiction for charging remains to the I can't say it, the County Attorney's Office. Reinvestigations into this case have been made, during which leads have been tracked down to include interviews and attempts to contact the suspect. During the latest reinvestigation effort, the suspect was not able to be contacted in person or by electronic means. Please note, any contact with this suspect by law enforcement at this point must be consensual, and that the suspect not be forced to speak or answer questions should they choose to decline the opportunity for an interview. Attempts to intimidate, harass police personnel involved in this investigation, including sworn and non-sworn legal or clerical personnel, cannot be tolerated. The level of repeated demands, as well as online attacks of police personnel on their private social media pages, is inappropriate and could rise to the level of harassment. Requests for material related to this case are in progress through our records department and will be available as soon as possible. We are dealing with old technology and working diligently to provide an accurate, complete case file. So I'm going to put my 2 cents in. Bullshit. Bullshit. That, in my opinion, is bullshit. And we don't encourage anybody to go to a personal Facebook and attack or harass anybody. But let me tell you, if it is an official Facebook for a sheriff's department, investigator, or deputy, and it has their title in there and their profile pictures, you know, them standing in their little uniform, their little costume, that's not a personal Facebook. That's not personal. And they're not allowed to block you. And if they do block you, there are means that you can take and people that you can contact. Because an official is not allowed to block you. And if you go onto their professional Facebook and raise hell with them, suck it up and do your damn job. And then maybe people won't come after you on social media. But what is this? Is this where we protect the suspect and not protect the family? Because that's what it sounded like to me. Cannot be forced to speak. Why the hell not? Why not? This investigation was so shitty that not only did they not test him for gunshot residue, they tested the firearm for fingerprints and it was inconclusive. Okay, 1993. DNA is what, about 8, 9 years old? Why hasn't it been retested? My opinion, do they even still have the evidence? Because how many of these cases do we hear where they lost the evidence? They can't find the evidence. It fucking infuriates me to no end.
I've said it 1,000 times. So many of these cases, law enforcement has everything that they need to file charges, but they're waiting on them to write a letter that says, "Hey, Mr. Law Enforcement Officer, I killed this person. Please come put handcuffs on me. I promise I won't run."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. Yep, I agree. They want him to do their jobs for them. They want him to just come up and just be just no effort whatsoever. I killed her. I killed her. Y'all don't got to do anything. You ain't got to, you ain't got to put down your coffee and your donut and do your job. Which Arizona police infuriate the hell out of me to begin with. So when I started reading up on this case and watching the pin videos and reading the paperwork that was sent to me, I was like, why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? Let me tell y'all why. I had a missing girl that got brought to my attention. She didn't have a flyer. Somebody reached out to me on Facebook, said, "Hey, can you make a flyer for this girl?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I do what I always do when it's a random person in the community that reaches out to me, not a family member, like a community where she was missing from, which just happened to be Phoenix and Sedona. Her father had taken inappropriate photos of her in the shower, was extremely abusive to her, the whole 9 yards. So I covered her case a couple of times on my channel. There's a Facebook group that gets started. So there's other YouTubers that get involved in the case. One of them, I wouldn't say her name if she was the last damn YouTuber on this platform. But she reaches out to me and she's like, "You spoke to the head detective?" I was like, "Yeah." After 4 hours of calling 2 different counties, I finally got the right guy on the phone. Her aunt gives out her location. Her father goes and gets her. I call law enforcement and I'm like, "You guys realize," and I lost my whole ass patience with him. And I told him, I said, "You realize by y'all not taking action and telling the family not to give her location out, not to let the father go and get her because she's been deemed a habitual runaway. She ends up dead. Her blood's on your hands. He got nasty with me. So I don't have a high opinion of those fuckers to start with out there. CZ says, I'm listening, doing chores. The case already sounds astonishing and so sad. So wrong. Yeah, it is. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. And y'all know I try so hard to keep my professionalism and not use adult language, but there will be adult language. Might as well get ready for it because I'm
on panel. Of course there will be.
I'm hot. I've been hot for days.
Oh, girl, me
So I read
reading
the
that
letter
case
first.
file infuriated me. My blood pressure has never been that high before in my life, I don't think, in reading that case file.
Oh, I'm over here chain smoking, and Craig's like, what are you doing over there? I'm like, reading a case file. He's like, what the fuck are you reading? I was like, this is bullshit. How the hell can they not fucking do what the fuck? Oh, I was madder than hell, man. And I've had this case for about a week now, and I don't think I've calmed down yet. Like, I honestly don't think I've calmed down yet. And the TikTok description is in the TikTok for Nikki is in my description. I'm also going to pull it up and show a few of her videos. Please, everybody that's in this chat, if you have the Tick of Talks, go follow her. She does daily updates. She is a force to be reckoned with. I tell you right now,
Absolutely.
She's not going to stop. She's not going to stop. And she is absolutely fire and she art it.
Yes, absolutely 100%. And God bless her. And she's so grateful for anyone that covers the case, too. I mean, as soon as me and Mom said that we were going to cover it, she put out a TikTok with our channel logos saying these are podcasters that have agreed to cover the case.
Yep. I was honored. I got the notification. I was like, oh my God, I'm so honored. It was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal to watch how strong this woman has stand. I mean, she is standing tall, and I love it. You know, you guys hear me say spirit animal. Oh, this woman is. She should be all of our spirit animals. She's just as determined as Bonnie is to get justice for Danielle, and I love it. I absolutely love it. All right. Hopefully you guys
Fox
have audio.
Tonight, Fox 10 investigates, and the spotlight is on a 1993 cold case.
Oh, we're not going to do this tonight.
A young mother shot and killed in her Sedona home after a domestic dispute.
Nearly 30 years later, there's still no arrest. Investigators say they only have one side to the story. Fox 10 investigative reporter Justin Lum digs in.
Stephanie Wasilishin's case file says a heated argument rapidly turned into a deadly shooting. But to this day, investigators can't seem to prove who exactly pulled the trigger. Was it Stephanie or her then boyfriend? Was this an accident, suicide, or murder? The evidence on the table, or lack thereof, keeps this case frozen in time.
Who are you?
I'm Russell Peterson.
Okay, are you involved in this?
Yes, I am.
Okay, did you do the shooting or who did?
I remember her as just funny. She liked to kid around a lot. She loved her kids.
Wendy Wasilishin has never stopped missing her big sister. It's surreal for her to visit the home where 32-year-old Stephanie Wasilishin lived in the early 90s.
Pretty hard to take in. I just miss her so much.
Surrounded by lush trees and the red rocks of Sedona, a comfy 2-bedroom house on Coffee Pot Drive, Stephanie worked as a pastry chef at Pietro's restaurant, where her longtime boyfriend was a chef, 31-year-old Russell Peterson. Together they raised a family, their 3-year-old Christina and 10-year-old Nikki from Stephanie's previous relationship. A time locked away in Nikki's memories, yet she remembers what would transpire on July 9th, 1993.
She was sitting on the couch, and I went up behind her, and I wrapped my arms around her, and I gave her a hug and a kiss, and I told her goodnight. And that was at 11 p.m. on July 8th, 1993.
911, what's your emergency?
I need help.
What kind of help, sir?
There has been a very bad accident.
Russell's call to 911 at 1:40 in the morning, nearly 30 minutes after an alleged fight.
Me and my wife, we were in an argument, and she's hurt. She's hurt very bad. I need help.
Okay, what's wrong with her?
She's been shot.
She was shot?
Yes.
Who shot her?
We were... I don't know who.
You don't know who shot her?
She might have shot herself.
Inside the couple's bedroom, Stephanie laid on the floor lifeless.
Mr. Peterson, where is she shot?
It looks like she's been shot in the neck or the chest.
Nikki was
Okay, so I'm going to stop it there just for a minute. So my audio is the way that it should be. You should be able to hear a 3-year-old crying in the background. Hi, Avery. Thank you for coming in. Liz and Billy, thank you so much for the shout out. I appreciate that. Fucking blows my mind. And how do you... Oh, she's been shot in the neck or the chest. Okay, my neck's here. My chest is here.
Oh, yeah. And do you hear how calm he is on this call? If someone I loved, if it had been an accident, if I thought that I may have accidentally killed the woman I loved, I would be completely frantic. I wouldn't be sitting there just chill as fuck.
Are you shitting me? Same. I'd be freaking the hell out. I'd be snotty, ugly, crying the whole 9 yards. I would be all, there's been an accident. I might have shot her. She might have shot herself. Unicorns may be in the backyard. Come on. You fucking kidding me right now? Hi, Jody. Thank you so much for being here. Avery, I think I said hi to you. Okay. I'm going to let this run. I'm going to periodically vent, though, y'all. Just a heads up.
Sleep when officers arrived minutes later.
All I remember is a flashlight, and I was scared, and I started screaming.
Later that morning, Russell was interviewed for the first time. He said he returned home from work after 11 that night, took a shower, and shared a bottle of wine with Stephanie on the couch. The conversation in the living room evolved when Stephanie said she'd been on the phone earlier with Nikki's father, her ex. The mood became confrontational when they discussed Russell's upcoming trip to New York for a 2-week culinary training.
She goes into the bedroom, and she comes back out. She has the gun in her hand, and she cocks it back. And she goes, Russell, I'm going to shoot you. And I put my hands in it. You gotta stop. What are we talking about here?
The gun was a Ruger Redhawk .44 Magnum revolver. According to the police report, Russell claimed Stephanie shot at him but missed before he followed her into their bedroom for that final shot.
Where was the gun when it went off in relationship to you and her? Waist high, head high, in between you? Were you close together, far apart?
No, we weren't that far apart. We were close together. I can't give you exacts on that. It all happened so fast. I don't know. I mean, we were there. There was a struggle. Next thing I know, there was a pop and she dropped.
The interview reveals Russell did not call 911 until after deciding where to place the gun.
I didn't know what to do, and I didn't want to be accused of murder, of anything like that. I picked up the gun. I put it in the holster. I put it back in the closet. I brought it back down, and I said, no, I mean, that's stupid. I mean, it's happened. There's nothing you can do about it at this point.
Okay, so if you guys remember me saying earlier that they did fingerprint testing on this gun and they were inconclusive. Again, we're not investigators, we're investigators. What would tell you could possibly, if Doodle's still in chat, maybe she can back me up on this, would cause a smudge or an inconsistent fingerprint?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe someone trying to wipe the gun down.
Exactly. Wiping it down or picking it up with a piece of fabric and holstering it because you don't want to be accused of murder, you bullshit. Bullshit. And this is his first story. That she came out with the gun. I'm going to kill you. Shot at him. She shot at him, y'all. Now, Arctic, you read the case file and I did too. How many casings were found in that house?
Oh, Lord, you're going to put me on the spot like that. It's been a minute since I read it. I'm not entirely
casing
sure.
was found.
Just the one case. Okay.
Casing was found in the bedroom wall. Now, explain to me how the fuck she shot at him in the living room.
In the living room. Exactly. And not, just set that aside for a second. Think about this. If someone's holding a hand cannon at you and takes a shot at you, are you really going to follow them into the bedroom after they've just taken a shot at you with that? I know I'm damn sure not. I'm going to be getting the fuck out of there.
Nope, I'm out the front door, especially if I'm already in the living room. Fuck you, buddy. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm running to the fucking neighbor's house. I'm running down the road. I'm screaming crazy bitch with a gun. I'm not going to follow somebody further into the house. This is not a scary movie. You don't go up the stairs. You leave the fucking house. You don't follow somebody into the bedroom that's waving a gun at you. And like I said, I'm not talking about a 38. I'm talking about a fucking hand cannon at you. Just absolute bullshit.
Not necessarily, PJ. If she put her hand up in defense and he fired that gun, she could very easily have gunshot residue on her hand, and he probably would have had gunshot residue on both of his hands had they bothered to test him.
But you got to think about it. If you're holding a weapon, I don't have one here that I would show on camera. I got my coffee mug here. That'll work. So I'm holding the weapon. When that weapon goes off, what's going to happen is that gunshot residue is going to come this way. It's going to come this way. It's not going to be under the fucking handle in the palm of my fucking hand. Mr. Bear, thank you so much for being here. PG, thank you so much for being here. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Jody, I think I said hi to you. Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate you. Paula's in the house. Thank you, Paula, for being here. Right. Don't run up the stairs. Straight. You don't run into the bedroom. This is a single level, 2-bedroom home. You don't go further into the house. So again, I call bullshit.
And I set it back on the ground. And
Nikki says she had no idea her mom was dead until her sister shouted to her.
And she kept, Poppy killed mommy. Poppy killed mommy. And she kept repeating it.
Police say the 3-year-old admitted that although she saw her mother on the floor, she did not witness the shooting, but who actually pulled the trigger during this heated struggle, and what would cause Stephanie to grab a gun she had never used.
we had a good and semi-bad relationship, just as relationships go. And after the first time, I mean, the gun was never grabbed before.
You still have her?
Yes, I do. Don't forget, we got that on tape.
At times, he was referred to as a suspect. In other reports, he was referred to as an investigative lead.
Sergeant Laura Leon is now on the case looking for new information and hoping to speak to Russell almost 30 years later. The medical examiner who performed Stephanie's autopsy ruled the manner of death a homicide, Dr. Philip Keene with Maricopa County. In 1993, investigators did refer to Russell Peterson as the suspect, submitting the case to the Yavapai County Attorney's Office twice. Prosecutors declined to file charges due to insufficient evidence.
It's only, of course, Russell's side of what happened that night that we have, which makes it so difficult.
Would she ever first threaten to kill him and then kill herself with her 2 kids in the house?
No. She loved her kids. She was a perfect mom.
The $1 million question, did she commit suicide, or did Mr. Peterson, participate in, her dying that night?
We've reached out to Russell Peterson multiple times, just like Sedona PD. We visited his Phoenix home. He wasn't there, but he has our information. The medical examiner did make a key observation about the gun residue left on Stephanie's hand. Why did he call this a homicide? And what did Sedona police not have available to provide to the Yavapai County Attorney's Office? There's much more to this story coming up at 10. I'm Justin Lum for Fox 10 Investigates.
Follow him on Twitter. He's actually a really sweet guy. I've reached out to him about cases before. This is Stephanie. She preferred to be called Stacy. Beautiful woman. This is Stephanie, and I believe that's Nikki. And there's another photo.
Well, during football season, fantasy football, you ever heard of?
Here's part 2.
Fantasy monsoon.
Well, you will. New faculty members from the University of Arizona.
No, we don't want to hear about the monsoons.
And now 10:30, unsolved in Sedona. Tonight we dive into a nearly 30-year-old cold case.
All right, so this one's part 2. Now, I want you guys to understand that it took 28 years. 28 years to get the media to cover her case.
Exactly. And aside from a few podcasters that and aside from a few podcasters that have picked it up in this Fox 10 thing, there still hasn't been a lot of coverage on this other than Nikki advocating every day on TikTok. It's ridiculous the lack of coverage that this has gotten. This is something that Nancy Grace needs to get her hands on. This should be on News Nation. This should be everywhere.
Yep, I agree. And that's my next step, is to get a hold of Nancy. And I actually had her best friend on the channel and interviewed Nancy Grace's best friend. So I'm going to message Nancy, and then I'm also going to message her and say, hey, Cheryl, can you forward this to Nancy, please, and help this family? 2 documentaries have fallen through. This woman cannot get help, and that's all she wants is help, for somebody to help her tell her mother's story. The petition is also in the description to demand a complete and thorough investigation and justice for her mother. Things like this, when you have 2 sides to a family, it tends not to bring the family closer. It tears them apart. The second lady that you saw in that news article, that is her aunt, Nikki's aunt. Her and Nikki are the 2 that are a voice for Stephanie.
Why no one was charged. A young mother found dead in her home. Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum has part 2 of the special report.
The Yavapai County Attorney's Office declined to prosecute the suspect, Stephanie Wasilishin's then boyfriend, insufficient evidence. Now, only 2 people know what happened moments after this domestic dispute. One is alive and one is dead.
Did you go in there, take the gun from her, and did you shoot her?
No, I did not.
Did she go in there and shoot herself?
No, I won't say she shot herself, and I won't say I shot her.
She's still there. And that's the only reason I'd ever want to live in Sedona again, is if I could live here. I want to buy this house one day.
For Nikki Wasilishin, nothing matters more than finding out what exactly happened inside this home on July 9th, 1993, while she was asleep. As a child, her mom, 32-year-old Stephanie Wasilishin, died of a gunshot wound. He says she's certain it was murder.
When I have people tell me that it's suicide or an accident or whatever you want to say, I know it's just a blatant lie, because my mother would never touch a gun. Her 2 children were sleeping feet away.
According to the medical examiner's report, the bullet entered through the left side of Stephanie's neck. Dr. Philip Keene told police he was calling the manner of death a homicide after learning Stephanie was right-hand dominant. The report showed positive findings of gun.
Okay, so not only was she right-hand dominant, and the gunshot was on the left-hand side of her neck, there was a burn mark. That is from someone holding a weapon to your skin and firing it in order to get a burn mark like that. You do not get a burn mark like that from a distance. That is a point blank.
Mm-hmm.
Gunshot residue on her left palm, not her right hand. Stephanie's boyfriend, Russell Peterson, told police that she shot at him once before a struggle for the gun in that fatal shot. Sergeant Laura Leon with Sedona PD.
We know simply that based on his, again, the one-sided information, that his statement is that she shot at him. So that would explain gunshot residue, period. Now, whether that gunshot residue is present, what he followed up as an answer to what happened being that during the struggle when that weapon went off, that there would be additional gunshot residue, only makes sense. We just don't, there's no way for us to separate the first shot from the second shot, if you will.
On September 3rd, 1993, less than 2 months after the shooting, Russell Peterson met with investigators for his last interview. This time, his story changed.
I don't think there was a struggle. The struggle was my own struggle. I wanted to grab her. I wanted to stop. Why'd you shoot at me? Stop the madness. Why did all this happen? You never gave me the chance. And what happened? I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I may know. It'll come to me. I don't think I ever put my hands on her.
This time, Russell told police he saw Stephanie fall from a distance. The month prior, investigators simulated the shooting with a model of the gun involved in the case, a .44 Magnum revolver. They found a woman with similar size and frame to attempt the same angle of the bullet's entry through the left side of the neck. There was difficulty pulling the trigger one-handed, double action. It finally worked with a simulation of a struggle between 2 people. The medical examiner also told investigators he believed Stephanie was in a defensive posture when she was shot, based on gunpowder residue on her left palm.
We put the evidence together, and it's like the evidence is showing that she did not commit suicide. Okay. There was no one else present in the room, correct? There's no.
Near the end of the interview, Detective Walter Spokes confronted Russell about his lack of cooperation.
Let me finish, okay? I think we've been more than understanding with you, okay? You've canceled appointments with us, okay? We've scheduled them with you, okay? I'm calling you, you've moved, you promised me you'd give me your phone number as soon as you got a new one, and that you had the phone, you just didn't recall it, you never returned that. We've gone out of our way. I mean, we've been over backwards to show that it was an accident for you.
A polygraph test or reenactment with Russell himself never happened. He did give consent for a search of his house. In December of 1993, Sedona PD learned the Yavapai County Attorney's Office did not see enough sufficient evidence to present to a grand jury, despite inconsistencies in the suspect's stories. This letter said Russell's confusion over the facts could be the result of trauma or wishful thinking.
Bullshit.
That fateful night, did alcohol and talk of Russell's upcoming trip to New York contribute to the alleged fight?
There was a lot of antagonism between the two of them, with him going, money being spent. So that night, evidently, that could have been a source of conflict with them.
The original police report reveals Stephanie told her mother more than 50 times that Russell abused her physically and emotionally. Wendy Wasilishin says her sister planned to leave for good.
I think this was the end of the road for that relationship. She was thinking about leaving him. My mother offered her home.
I never, in 6 years, ever raised a hand to her.
Bullshit.
At exactly what time did Stephanie's life end? Russell's phone bill shows a call was made to a location in Glendale at 1:36 in the morning, lasting a minute. At 1:40, Russell called 911. Sergeant Leon's follow-up narrative on the case boils down to this, quote, "I cannot find any further leads on this case short of a confession from Peterson, making an admission," going on to say that Stephanie's family has been less than cooperative in communication. Do you feel like this case will ever get any resolution?
I hope so. I hope so.
You hope, but do you believe there's a chance with all the time that's gone by? I know that's got to be hard to think about.
I think if they did their job, it's an open and shut case. I really, truly do.
I'm not going to give up on this anymore. I will fight the system. I will not let this go. My mother did not commit suicide or have an argument and try to shoot her boyfriend. That is not what happened.
We've reached out to the Yavapai County Attorney's Office for comment. The chief deputy tells me they won't be making any comment due to an open, active investigation and ethical obligations. I'm Justin Lum for Fox 10 Investigates.
An open, active investigation. Now y'all put your rewind button on.
Which we know is bullshit, because if it was an open and active investigation, they wouldn't have released that much of the case file to her that they did. Because we've seen it in other cases.
Exactly. You try to get a case file that's not a state with a sunshine law, and even some of the states with sunshine law, to release 200 pages, including autopsy results, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Unless it is a closed case or a cold case. And not only that, we just saw in the letter from Sedona stating it's an inactive investigation unless more leads or viable information comes. So
exactly.
Bullshit. They don't want to be held accountable for shitty police work. They don't want to be held accountable for a man that murdered the mother of 2 children and then taking those 2 children and putting them in a police car with the man that just murdered their mother. Y'all heard me correctly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then, sending the youngest to live out the rest of her life with this man. I mean, so much of what happened in this case is just complete and utter bullshit, in my opinion. And there was domestic violence. That's documented through Stephanie's mom. There were others in the family that knew of the violence that took place. And what happened, I think, my opinion on this is it was a number of things that culminated to this. Number one, Stephanie had called her boyfriend or her ex-boyfriend, the father of Nikki, and was going to try to rebuild a life with him. She had got tired of this man's fucking bullshit, and she was going to move on with her life and try to rebuild it. Number two, Stephanie had been saving up to take these girls to Disney World. Well, all of a sudden, this piece of shit gets to go to some culinary school in New York, and he's going to take that money that Stephanie's been saving all this time to take the girls on a trip, and he's going to use that to fund his trip, to fund his culinary school. That was a big part of it, I think. So you take those two combined, and there was a huge argument that night, and I have no doubt that they argued. I think it's bullshit. I think that Stephanie never picked up that gun and fired a shot at him, but I think he damn sure took that shot that ended her life.
I agree. I agree 100%. Because we went from, she shot at me in the living room, to she went in the bedroom and then I heard a pop. Bullshit. You are so full of shit, bub. And if you run across this video, you should do the right thing for your daughter and for Nikki and for Stephanie and come clean. What do you got to lose, bub? You're dying anyway. Why don't you die with a clean conscience? Because we know you like to lurk around. We know you like to watch social media. Hi, my name's Christy. And I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, Russell Peterson, if you see this video, turn yourself in. Confess. Do the right thing. Don't die with a guilty soul. If he shit before and he grabbed the gun and pushed it away, it explains. If he shot before and she grabbed the gun or pushed it away, it explains the gunshot residue. There she is. Thank you, Doodle. Shit, shot, it's all the same thing.
Well, shit works because this
It's
is
been
a
a
complete
shit
shit
kind of
show.
week. Absolutely. As promised, guys, this is Nikki Washilin's TikTok. The podcast that she's trying to get started and that I gave her my word I would help to promote is called Poppy Killed Mommy. She put out an update today that I do know so far that it will be available on Apple Podcast as soon as she gets the logo approved, which Apple's really weird about stuff. So I get they're being weird about the name of the podcast. There's a reason behind Poppy Killed Mommy. As you guys know, we only do 3 videos on TikTok. Don't want to screw up her algorithm, but I do want you to hear from the daughter of a murdered woman with her own voice. Come in. Wake up. Thank you, Mustang, for being here. Make sure I didn't miss anybody else coming in. Doodle came back.
I am the daughter of a murdered woman. I will kiss my mom goodnight at 11 p.m. on July 8th, 1993, and 3 hours later, the Sedona Police Department will wake me up because my mom is now dead in the bedroom. The daughter of a murdered woman. The Sedona Police Department will escort me from my home minutes after they pronounce my mother dead. I am the daughter of a murdered woman. After escorting me from my home, they will put me in the back of a cop car while I will find my little sister and she keeps repeating, Poppy killed mommy, Poppy killed mommy, Poppy killed mommy. I am the daughter of a murdered woman. Minutes after murdering my mother, the Sedona Police Department will put the suspect in the same squad car as the children, where he there touches, fondles, and whisper things in my ear, such to the effect of, I'm sorry, I love you, and I want to keep the family together. I am the daughter of a murdered woman. The Sedona Police Department will, the man that murdered my mother, be the one that tells me that she has died. True story. I am the daughter of a murdered woman. 30 years will go by with no arrest in my mother's domestic violence altercation, homicide. Why? I am a daughter of a murdered woman, and I will not give his accountability in my mother's murder. I am the daughter of a murdered woman. I will kiss my mom goodnight at 11 p.m. on July 8th, 1993, and 3 hours later, the Sedona Police Department will wake me up because my mom...
Doodle right away. And when they took the children to the police department car as the man that just killed their mother, she would tell them again the same thing. Poppy killed mommy. And she will repeat this repetitively.
Absolutely. And initially, when Nikki heard it, she thought her sister was talking crazy. But as we know, as we've seen through the case and everything, and it started to come to light, she realized that what her sister said was true.
Yep, 3 years old. Three years old. I think I bookmarked this one, but I dare not switch screens, y'all, because no telling where we'll end up. So there is a reason for my aimless scrolling. We've already heard the 911 call. That's also one of her pinned videos. Trying to make sure I get the right one. I may have to go to my bookmarks. All right. Let me go to my bookmarks, guys. Well, I thought I bookmarked it.
Me and my wife, we were in an argument, and she's hurt. She's hurt very bad. I need help.
Okay, what's wrong with her?
She's been shot.
She was shot?
Yes.
Who shot her?
Well, that's frustrating as hell.
You know, Stacy? Stacy, you look pretty good on the silver screen here.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
So if you are in a domestic situation Whether you are male or female or identify as one or the other, you're not alone. You don't have to stay in that situation. And when you get the first chance, you leave. You have somebody that reaches out to you that says they'll help, go. Get your kids, get your dogs, get your cats, get your birds, get your lizards, and leave. Don't become a statistic.
Absolutely.
Because
And
you're not alone.
the sad thing is that they say that in cases where a woman dies at the hands of their abuser, it usually happens within 2 weeks of them leaving. It took less than 24 hours between that phone call that she had with her ex, where they were going to reunite, and Stephanie's death.
Yep. And she was
And for
on her
those,
way out.
yeah, yeah. And for those unaware, if you get a new cell phone, donate your old phones to battered women's shelters, because even if it doesn't have service on it, it can still connect to a tower and they can dial 911, and it could very well save a woman's life.
And this is a great point too. Thank you, Doodle. And please, if you call for help, don't attack the officer for arresting your abuser. And don't stand up for them. Don't stand up for them. If my ex-husband had not went to prison, I probably wouldn't be sitting here in front of y'all today. Y'all can see it's crooked. He broke my nose. I have a chunk this big of one of my ribs that's completely missing because it was crushed and they can't replace ribs. Him going to prison was the only thing that saved my life. Because I was in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and I'm from Kentucky. My family couldn't afford to come get me. And I was alone. Almost 2,000 miles away from home. With a toddler. Now we have domestic violence centers. We have websites. You have phone numbers. You have... I don't care if you go to the neighbor. Reach out for help. Don't stay. Because you become
to one of the advocates here in this community. Between all of us, we'll come together and we'll give you whatever you need to get started with a new life. We'll raise funds if we have to, but don't stay with that abuser.
Don't do it. Don't do it, because let me tell you, and this is for anybody that can hear the sound of my voice that might be going through something. Reach out. All of my contact information, all Doodle's contact information, all of Arctic's contact information is all in our descriptions on our channels. I'm not hard to find, and neither are they. Reach out. We do this to help and to advocate. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to cover somebody because they thought they were alone. Please remember that all Amber Alerts will beep even if a phone with no service. If you're hiding, make sure that the battery is out. Yes, that's a great point, Doodle. Absolutely. Gabby Petito Foundation. They have amazing resources. And they're not hard to find either. Nikki, Jim, and Joseph are all on Twitter. They're all on TikTok. If you don't know how to get a hold of them, go to mine or Arctic or Doodle's pages, and they're on there. Had another video I wanted to share with you guys, and I thought I had bookmarked it, but apparently I did not bookmark it. I tried to screen record it for you guys last night, but my signal kept freezing up. So I apologize. I'm trying to find it. Just her drive alone, it's just amazing. She converted a closet into a podcast studio so she could tell her mother's story.
Yeah, no, I need to hire her to come fix my redneck setup.
That's what I'm saying. To watch some of her videos of how she did hers, because they're all on here. Because mine was all like beautiful and set up, and now it's craziness. It's all unorganized and discombobulated, and you can't see any of my pictures or anything. Hell, I have a giant poster that my mother-in-law painted with the channel logo and stuff on it. You can't even see it. Well, guys, I may end up just having to drop this and let you guys go and find it on your own here, watching through her videos, because I thought I bookmarked it for y'all, but apparently when you bookmark it on the computer, it doesn't hold like it does on my phone. And she uploads daily ones so it's moved on me. I know that sounds like a horrible excuse, but it's the truth. It's not that one. She has the sweetest boy, too. He is the cutest dog ever. But guys, there is a petition in the description. Please, if you haven't already, go and sign the petition. Hi, Taylor. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Klein. Thank you for being here. Oh, shit. I really hope that they approve her podcast. I really, really do. I think she said today she has 11 out of the 12 episodes recorded already. And I mean, some of the other podcasters that have covered the case, like Sarah has covered it, Arctic's covered it. We're going over it here tonight. Just phenomenal creators and podcasters. But you guys have heard me say it. Y'all have heard Arctic say it. It's nothing like hearing this from the family. That impact is so much stronger. And it should never take 28 freaking years to get justice for your mother. When, in my opinion, they had more than enough evidence. It's just infuriating.
All right, guys. Also, write this number down. The number for the Sedona PD is 928-282-3100. Call them. Let them know how you really feel about this. Demand that they reopen this case and do a real investigation. Go sign that change.org petition. Let's raise enough noise that we finally get some results.
Exactly. Because it's your right as an American citizen to contact law enforcement and demand justice. And to demand that they do something. You're not doing anything wrong by reaching out to them. Nothing wrong. They're to be held accountable just like anybody's to be held accountable. Thank you guys all so much for being here. I think I found it. Well, this isn't the one, but I'm going to share it with you guys anyway. I'm still learning TikTok, y'all, so I apologize.
I am the daughter of a murdered woman. I will kiss my mom goodnight at 11 p.m. on July 8th, 1993. 3 hours later, the Sedona Police Department will wake me because my mom is now dead in the bedroom. I am the daughter of a murdered woman. The Sedona Police Department will escort me from my home minutes after pronouncing my mother dead. I am the daughter of a murdered woman. Whispers things in my ears such to the
Have you been having trouble with your TikTok?
I've had some. Especially during lives. Lives seem to be freezing quite a bit here lately.
I tried to screen record. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. They need to quit screwing with it. Well, that's clearly not going to play. But you guys get the gist and the reason why we're here tonight. Nicole is the daughter of a murdered woman that 30 plus years later still has not seen justice. This happened in 1993. Technology has changed. Detectives, how many? A whole handful of detectives have touched this case file. And now, after many years of struggling, her daughter, as of several years ago, has started advocating for her mother. It's like I said, guys, if you have TikTok, please, I encourage you to go and follow her. Watch her videos. Listen
Absolutely.
to her voice. Listen to the heartbreak in her voice, the determination in her voice. She is the absolute golden version of a voice for the voiceless. Just like Bonnie and Nikki and Gabby's
Barbara.
mom, Nikki, and Barbara. And the list goes on and on and on, and Bethany and all of these families. And Amy for Aiden. Because law enforcement does not take these cases seriously, even to this day. Times have changed, and I can hold a computer in my hand now. But where is the accountability? Why do we have private entities starting 501c3s and businesses and doing DNA testing and giving names back to victims? Because our fucking government won't do it. That's why.
Even when the government does follow through, when they do find remains and they do match the DNA, it may be 6 months to a year before that family is contacted and notified that there was a match. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yep.
Why let that family suffer for that much longer?
It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. And 10 years ago, I'd be one that you'd be standing beside and say, I'm proud to be an American today. I don't know if I'm proud or not. I'm proud of the American people, but our government sucks. And there's so much freaking corruption in this whole damn country. And how does a man get away with murder with 2 underage children in the house, get put in the police car with them? And I'll do you one better than that. Why was he the one that was taken to the children to tell them their mother was dead? They didn't hear that from a CPS worker. They didn't hear that from a victim's advocate. They didn't hear that from their family members. They heard it from the man that took their mother's life, that she was dead. 10-year-old Nikki is thinking her mom left. She's woken up by police officers. The 3-year-old was awake. So like I said, Russell Peterson, if you can hear the sound of my voice, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Don't die with guilt on your heart. Why would you want to put this family through more pain than what you already have? It's absolutely fucking infuriating. And I don't think that tonight is going to be the only time I cover this case. I'd like to have Nikki on panel as a guest.
I have been in contact with Nikki, and at some point she has agreed to come on our Saturday show.
Yeah, and she agreed to come on over here too. So I don't want to let this just go. Guys, I'll be honest, I have not made it all the way through the police report yet. So I would like to come back and do a part 2.
Absolutely. Because we've just touched the tip of the iceberg of everything that took place in this. And like I said, I think we could go for a month of doing streams on this and still not cover everything as thoroughly as it probably deserves to be covered.
Exactly. Arctic did a phenomenal hour-long video on this case. We've been here an hour and a half tonight, and this, like he said, this ain't even the tip of the iceberg, y'all. There's almost 200 pages just to show you guys that this is just an intro to this case. Because I gave my word I would cover it. I gave my word I would help promote her podcast. But I'm not done with this. I'm not done with this. I'll probably revisit this next week when I've had time to sit down, read, and process.
Absolutely. I need to go over certain parts of that case file again, but I'll definitely be up here for next week as well.
I appreciate it if you would be. I love you coming up. I love you coming up here and putting in your input and letting me bounce stuff off of you that I don't want to misspeak on, and kind of keep me grounded so I'm not up here yelling and screaming at my laptop.
Girl, I got to try to keep myself grounded to keep from saying what I really think.
I thank you guys all for being here tonight. I appreciate you for being here and listening to part 1 of Stephanie Wasilishin's story. Nikki's story. The daughter of a murdered woman while a man walks free. Arctic, you got anything you want to add tonight?
Well, this son of a bitch has already made a confession to his current wife. I'm hoping he's ran his mouth to someone else. And I'm hoping that they see this broadcast. And I'm hoping that they will come forward to authorities and do the right thing. All it takes is one person to see your broadcast here, the broadcast that I did, the many broadcasts that Nikki has done over on TikTok, and to do the right thing. Because I guarantee you, if he said something to her, he said something to someone else in all this time. And we just need you to step forward. It's time for justice.
Yep. Beautifully said. And I just put Sedona PD's phone number. This is Sedona PD's phone number. Just in case, so you don't have to make an effort if you hear the sounds of our voices, or if you run across the podcast or Nikki's channel or this story on Facebook. Do the right thing. You know what you did. A 3-year-old knew what you did. Manipulation, domestic violence go hand in hand. Don't die with a guilty conscience. Right, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. Like I said, I'm not going to make this too terribly long this evening, but thank you for all being here. Thank you, Arctic, for coming up. Thank you so much for coming up. Guys, make sure that if
No
you're not
problem.
subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Arctic, Doodle, Kimber, everybody here that's creators in chat. Hit that notification bell because we're going to cover this again next week. And we're going to bring more information to the table. So
Yes,
thank you so
ma'am.
much for being here. You want to say your close out?
Guys, you never know what that person out on the street's going through. It could be someone like Nikki that has suffered a loss, that's been fighting their whole life for justice. You just don't ever know. So take that extra moment out of your day just to be kind, smile at them, and be kind to everyone out there that you meet.
And remember, guys, if you see something, say something. We never give up. It takes a village to raise a child. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side.